top bath here, right underneath this window.
When we first got the literal flower pot of keys to our abandoned English country home, / time capsule full of priceless hoarded treasures, it took us several months just to get a grip of everything that we now owned. One thing we'd always been aware of, but hadn't really had the time to look at in much detail, was this servant's bell system. Although we've been reliably informed by the previous owner that the bell system has been working in living memory since the aforementioned biblical flood, the bell system is well and truly kaput, leaving us with two distinct choices. Either simply restore the board and leave it on the wall as a decorative feature, or spend an immense amount of time and money fastidiously rewiring it with safe modern cabling and switching so that it could once again be used in earnest. Jazzy, why don't you tell the good people of YouTube which one of those options you decided to go for?
So I'll be able to lie here and just slowly reach, bing, for tea. Ding-a-ling, 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 ding-a-ling.
In today's ridiculous instalment of Duncombe House Diaries, we are going to be trying our very best to restore and reinstate this incredible Victorian ding-a-ling. It's time to assemble the Preservation Power Rangers, starting with the paragon of power, our electrician JJ.
Where does this come from?
I've got no idea, JJ.
Oh, it's on the wall. Ah! Get there, look, Jack! Can you see it?
Rob. Jazzy.
So I think we actually need a ferret.
And I, to get it going again.
We need to combine all your bell points.
So Tuesday evening, we've come up to the house. JJ has come up and we're going to be refitting the bell system today. Obviously Jack's really happy about that.
Over the flipping moon.
I've also realised we're now in a matching hat and t-shirt. That wasn't pre-planned.
For the record, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely got dressed first.
You can hear them discussing it in the background. We'll figure out where to put the bell system back. So I think we put it back where it originally was, above the door frame. It's kind of the best wall for it. So we're going to put it back above the door, and then we have gone around the house and marked areas where we want the bells to go back. I've got one next to the bath, which is very exciting.
You'll notice a subtle but very telling smirk on Jazzy's face as she speaks. That's because she knows 100% that this is a nonsense.
Jack's whole point is like, who are we calling with these bells? Because we have no servants. But I think that's something we'll work out in the future.
When Duncombe House was built some 300 years ago, servants were all the rage. And there is no doubt that there would have been an entire team working behind the scenes to keep the cogs turning. The main call board lists 11 rooms in total, where one would have been able to jingle-jangle the bell from and beckon a servant. We are actually still yet to find two of the rooms on this list, which is very confusing, but also quite exciting. Originally, the call bell system at Duncombe House would have been mechanical. Now, what I mean by mechanical is that in each room there would have been a small lever. When pulled, this lever would have physically tensioned a wire, which, via a complex system of conduit and cogs, would have rung the bell back at the board. We know this because there are clues to be found everywhere, especially in the loft, where the original switchboard can still be seen. All hail King Julian. Interestingly, outside in the coach house, one of the original manual call bells still exists. And it's easy to imagine Harry the gardener being called in for his mid-morning tea. At some point, this manual system was retired in favour of an electric bell system. On a side note, fear not fireplace fans, she's still there. Made up of buttons and wires, which activated the bell and jolted the call cards on the board, which we have today. Before we went to the effort of rerunning bell wire to every single room, we thought it was probably prudent to see if the bell board itself even worked. JJ came up with a genius solution of temporarily hooking the board up to a standard rechargeable tool battery, giving us enough power to test the current wiring. Let the jiggery-pokery begin. Now, I'm no electrician, but even I know that setting fire to something is suboptimal. However, after 10 more minutes of tinkering, we were finally ready for liftoff. Ladies and gentlemen, a countdown if you please. 3, 2, 1. Oh, no, wait. Rob's arrived. Now, I am usually a huge fan of A Visit from Rob, but today he hadn't come to see me. He'd noticed JJ's van and brought us a job. So after spending an hour and a half fixing his television aerial, we got back to the task at hand. Unos, dos, tally-ho. Bosh! 10 points to JJ. Now, the bell board working certainly gave us a glimmer of hope, but we still had the mammoth task of working out how we were going to run bell wire from switches in the rooms all the way back to the board. I'm going to leave it up to my wise and impassioned wife to tour you around Duncombe House and explain her entirely irrational rationale behind all the bell call locations. Then I will show you how unbelievably time-consuming and laborious it was, realising her dream of having wine in the bath.
Wine. Ding-a-ling.
Before we do that, however, let me quickly divert you with some very English country show action. Last weekend, we had the pleasure of going to the Ashbourne show. Now, for those of you who don't know, the English country show scene is a sight to behold. This year, the frivolity included, but was not limited to, vintage tractors from the Ashbourne and District Vintage Tractor Club, a fine selection of prize-winning eggs, both intact and broken, courtesy of the Henmore Derbyshire Dales Poultry Club, and I even met a very handsome goat in the British Goat Society tent, which had a striking resemblance to Jazzy. My absolute number one favourite part of the day, however, is watching the horse-drawn carriages. Watching these incredible teams is like stepping into the pages of a Jane Austen novel. And if I ever find the time or money, this is the hobby I'm taking up. Right, that's far too much fun for one episode. Let's get back to work, shall we? Jazzy, it's over to you to explain to the good people of YouTube what we've been up to.
Sorry. So last night we had a bit of a late one here with JJ putting in our bell system because we want to get everything sorted before we start plastering next week.
Jazzy's excited face, everyone?
Which I'm so excited for. So I thought I'd just show everyone the bell system because it's quite a niche thing obviously to have in your house.
Quite niche is the understatement of the century.
And I've kind of had to pick where I'm actually going to have the actual bells in the rooms, and I'm just hoping I've made the right choice because, as I know, I can't change it after this. So here are all the cables that have been thread through and all for all the runs. Each one has been labelled for various bedrooms and things like that, so I will show you where they go to. We're going to put the bell system obviously back where it was originally, above the door. Okay, so I'm just going to pick one, a little lucky dip. Let's start. Oh, ensuite. Perfect. That is very exciting for me, that one. The ensuite. So this ensuite bathroom, we've got a Jack and Jill door.
Perhaps we should rename it a Jack and Jazzy door.
So it goes into our master bedroom one way and also the other way, so perfect for the ensuite. So the plan is to have the roll top bath here, right underneath this window, and just to give you an idea, we're right over the porch. This is where I'm thinking of having the servants' bell. So Taps will probably come from the middle, which means my head will be at that end. Ding-a-ling. Tea. Ding-a-ling. Wine. Ding-a-ling. Bring Quincy and snacks. So that's the dream.
Girls got a dream.
So in the master bedroom, this is obviously where our bed's going to be, facing the window. And this is the bell. Ding-a-ling. So I'll be able to lie here and just slowly reach. Bing! For tea. Oh, I can't wait. So in here, dressing room.
For context, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second largest room at Duncombe House, and I personally think it is preposterous to designate it a dressing room. Thoughts in the comments, please.
We haven't got an exact plan for this yet, so I have just kind of had to pick a spot. Built-in wardrobes around, but this corner here is going to be perfect for a dressing table, the light. So I was thinking, sat here, drinking a tea, ding-a-ling, more tea. In here, we're in the little bedroom, as we refer to it as. So it'll be a guest room. It's going to be a really, really cosy room in here. And obviously the bed will go here, plug sockets, etc. for lights. Ding-a-ling. That's the bell for the guests. If friends of mine come and stay or family, they get to ring for tea, which I think is a real USP of this house. Ding-a-ling. Room of doom. Servant's bell. It's a bit stressful in here, but we've managed to do it anyway. So we're directly above the boot room. Poor JJ and Jack had to bring all the cables up and through these runs with no floor. But one day this will be a beautiful guest bedroom and the guests will be able to ring for tea.
And here you will notice Quincy perpetually stood next to the bag of cat food, just in case some falls out and needs cleaning up.
So we're in the office now. And the plan is that the bell system is going to go here on this curved wall. Because we didn't want to block any walls of it, but actually if you put it here, it will really show the beautiful curves of this wall and it won't get in the way of any of the furniture or anything. Okay, the dining room. Another very exciting location to have a servant's bell. So here, again, we're going to have it just on this corner, on the curved wall. So this will be great because when we've run out of anything, we can just press for champagne.
Champagne? I honestly don't know what planet she's on.
Ding-a-ling. Finally, living room, which is where Mark, our plumber, is actually working at the moment. Servant's bell just here. So when I'm watching television, I can just reach over. Ding-a-ling.
If you say ding-a-ling one more time, I swear to Quincy, I'll take back that solid gold radiator I promised you.
So excited.
Armed with Jazzy's dream, JJ and I set to work head-scratching this problem. Now, the bell system is about 100 years old and was originally wired using cloth-wrapped wires via conduits and wooden back boxes. Let me show you what I mean. Cables would have run through these metal pipes in the walls to these boxes. We would have loved to have reused the cables and boxes, but unfortunately, wood, cardboard and cloth are all famously good at setting on fire, and so not only would that have been utter folly, it would have also been illegal. So we set to work finding the old conduits and carefully running new non-combustible doorbell wire from the main call bell board in the boot room to the call locations around the house. Can you see any conduit down there, darling?
There's that. Is that the conduit, Jack?
Do you know what conduit is?
The copper pipe.
Oh, this isn't going to take long at all. The first job is to rig the cable onto the running drum, which entirely eliminates any possibility of the cables tangling.
We got tangled again.
Jolly good. Now we can start running the cables. We decided to start with the easiest room to get us in the groove before moving on to the longer runs.
Yeah, it's going to go back where it was. Yeah.
You need to come this way. So what underneath first? Yeah. I never thought you'd have actually have gone for this, you know.
Really?
No. Who would?
Jazzy would, JJ. Only Jazzy would.
Is this your first servant's bell system, JJ?
Definitely.
First and last?
Really. Right.
Will you be adding it on as another service?
Maybe an optional electric for every house to do here on.
Room of Doom / my sister Elizabeth's room, done. So this is a perfect example. Here you can very clearly see the cable which runs from the switch next to the bed.
Ding-a-ling.
I'm warning you. Down underneath the floors and back to where the board is going to go. Next, we needed to send a run of cable east through to the small bedroom. Can anyone guess what this sound is? No, ladies and gentlemen, you're not watching Creature from the Black Lagoon. That is merely my hand coming through the hole where the previous central heating pipes went.
Hello.
Once the small bedroom had been occupied, JJ took what sounded like a mildly exasperating phone call.
Hello? Oh dear. Oh dear.
And then it was time to find the original conduit again. Which, as I'm sure you can imagine, is easier said than done. However, with some wiggling and jiggling, JJ managed to find the original conduit.
Oh, we're through.
And we were in to the master bedroom.
So I think we actually need a ferret in order to get some of these cables underneath the floorboards.
We tried to use the cats, but they were having none of it.
Obviously, we're always trying to use the old conduit cables and anything we can to try and avoid upsetting any of the plasterwork or taking out any of the skirting boards, etc., etc.
By this point, we felt suitably warmed up, so decided it was time to start the really challenging, longer runs to the front of the house. The least invasive way of doing this is via the loft, and seeing as in this corner of the house the flood brought down all of the floors and ceilings, it's easily accessible. Silver linings and all. So we started running wires up into the loft space. Now up until this point I thought that JJ was made of fairly sturdy stuff, but when he managed to convince himself that there was a pigeon in the loft with him, he started to lose his marbles a little bit.
It was all the way over there. Right, I'm panicking. I've got to go over there. That's exactly where... Jack, that's exactly where I'm going. I'm going to have to go.
I'm in danger.
Oh, he's on the wall. Ah! Get there, look, Jack! Can you see it? Oh, can you see it?
I can't see anything, I'm afraid, JJ.
It's on the wall, it flew off.
Once we'd managed to overcome JJ's temporary attack of ornithophobia, we continued with the task in hand. Now, with JJ, the pigeon, and I all in the loft, Jazzy was left with one important job to do. Making sure we didn't, under any circumstances, run out of cable back at base camp.
Yeah, you got loads.
You're absolutely sure?
There's loads.
Excellent job, darling. And there we have it. After 6 hours work and in spite of a savage pigeon attack and Jazzy being slapdash as always, we had rerun the servant's bell system, ready for us to never use it.
I think we're a way off me buying cushions and candles for this house yet. It's quite a lot to do.
Finally, something we agree on. If you'd like to find out how long I didn't talk to Jazzy after she did this to me, if you fancy having a good laugh at us for wearing unintentional matching outfits again, discover what we found inside the master bedroom wall, help us to bring in the harvest, and watch Rob dig a massive hole, then you better like, subscribe, and pop on those notifications so you don't miss next week's episode. And of course, it wouldn't be a Tuesday without another thrilling instalment of Treasure Tuesday, where we have a wee gander at yet another piece of the Duncombe House Gallimaufry. This week, we're travelling back to March 1981 to not only suss out the interior trends of the day, but also discover the private fears of unmarried women. ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are in the world, we hope you have a splendid week. TTFN.